What's up, YouTube? How y'all doing? Oh, there we go. How y'all doing? It is Tuesday morning, about 9:30 a.m. Yeah, it's exactly 9:30 a.m. Tuesday morning when I'm recording this. It is back and biceps day with sprints. It's right now. I'm not doing sprints yet. I'm doing a little bit of work. For those that are curious what I do every day, is I come over here to my personal. I watch YouTube vlogs on fitness people because why not? I need the noise, and I can't show you my work screen, but I got a Splunk query that I'm running right now on some stuff that I have to do with one of my tools. So I am truly, unfortunately, a computer nerd at the same time. I'm gonna try to hold off a little bit on the sprints and the gym. It is currently 47 degrees out, as you can see right there. I don't like the fact that it's this cold, but it is what it is. It's a cold time. It's supposed to warm up later on in the week. But to hold me over, I'm gonna have a little chocolate protein bar just to kind of get me through the day. And then we're gonna do sprints, go do back and biceps, and get on with the rest of the week, because this is officially when shit gets real. So enjoy the intro. I'll be back in a minute. Alright, what's up guys? So it is officially like 10:30 a.m. so it's about an hour later. I don't really think it's warmed up all that much since in the past hour, but it is Florida. It does warm up rather quickly. So it is a whopping 50 degrees now according to the weather. Come on. Yeah, anyway, you just have to take my word for it. It's 50 degrees an hour later. So I have to do 3 800-meter sprints with a 2-minute rest in between each sprint. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go outside real quick. I'm gonna do a half-mile warm-up, and then I'm going to, you know what? I didn't even take my pre-workout. So let me go ahead and do that. Then I'll go outside and do my warm-up. Alright, so it's not too bad. It's only about 10:40 or so when I got out of the house. I'm going to do a quick stretch, get a half-mile warm-up done, and then I'm going to come in and we're going to do the 3 800-meter sprints. We're going to try to get these done quick, again, with a 2-minute rest. So I'm going to put you down, I'm going to stretch real quick, and then I'm going to do my warm-up, and then I'll be back to talk with you a little bit more about what's going on with the workouts and so on and so forth. So let me go ahead and get this warm-up done. So for my warm-ups before runs, I don't like to do a lot of static stretching. You know, think of your muscles like a rubber band. When they haven't been used yet, it's like pulling a rubber band out of the freezer, right? It's real tight, not so stretchy, not so bendy, right? That's kind of how your muscles are before they're warmed up. So what I like to do, and I haven't really been injured yet, so what I like to do is just get some blood flowing through them, right? Your body weight squats, some leg swings. You know, I go side to side, each leg, you know, inside out, switch it up. Then I go front to back like this, where I just kind of swing my leg up and down, just kind of getting some blood into the muscles like that. Then I'll do a light warm up. You know, light jog, not pushing the pace, not pushing the tempo at all. Just kind of getting your heart pumping, you know, heart pumping the blood flowing through the body before your body is really kind of set, ready to go for the actual work. A lot of people you'll see, they'll be doing like their little stretches where you know, before the workout. I don't like to do that because you're really just, in my opinion, you're really just kind of stretching a cold muscle. There's no real point in that. A lot of what you want to do is dynamic movements. All right, so, you know, run in place, do some jumping jacks, get the blood flowing, you know, get your body functioning then it's loosened up, you can do the actual work. Then once the work is done and you're ready to progress into your recovery, that's where you do a little bit more of your static stretching, your quad stretches, your hamstring stretches, your calf stretches, and so on. Your muscles a little bit more, they're loose, they're ready to go. The lactic acid is starting to build up, so you kind of use the stretching as your first step in recovery. So I feel like I'm pretty loose right now. I'm gonna go do this quick warm up, and then I'll get back for the main set. So what I'm gonna do is, I do this for all my sprints. As I get the Fitbit started, I will use the Garmin to track the whole thing including the warm-ups, but I will only use the phone when I do the sprints itself. The Nike Plus doesn't care if you actually are doing a warm-up or not. It doesn't have it in the programming, but again, being a smart runner, I want to do a warm-up. So I'm gonna go do this warm-up. I got the Fitbit running. I'm gonna go ahead and get this Garmin started. I gotta change this interface. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this Garmin started, and what the fuck? Yeah, and then I'll be back for the main set. All right, so I ran half mile in 5:05 or 5:04, something like that. So now I'm gonna go while I take my 2 minutes of recovery before I get to the main set. So I still have quite a bit of time. And dial up Nike Plus, and when I'm ready for that first interval, I'll hit start. Now, last time I did intervals, there was a issue that I was having with this the screen showing me the amount of time I was running vice the distance I ran. Figured out what it wasn't a problem with the app, it was a problem with me. Apparently I had touched the screen, and when you tap the screen you can change the view from distance ran to time, elapsed time for that particular interval. And I didn't realize that, so I was playing with it that afternoon last time I had the issue, and I was just tapping the screen because it changed. I was like, wait a second, figured it out. So now I just got to be careful. So when I run my sprints, I got to make sure that I hold the phone like this with no fingers near the actual screen itself. So we got about less than a minute left, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started with this first sprint. So what I'm gonna do with these sprints is I'm gonna run up that little bit of a hill. All right, I'm cheating. I'm taking the hill first. There's a downhill on the other side with a slight incline. It's gonna go around the square this way, and then I gotta finish. Probably come to about the mailbox. That's roughly about 800 meters. So I'll put this down over here in this box. All right, just so you guys can kind of see what's what. I got about 20 seconds to go. I don't even know if this is safe for the camera or not, but I don't care. Anyway. Alright, so I'm gonna go in, I just kind of screwed up my screen, but I'm gonna leave for the first interval. I got 3 with 2-minute rest in between. See you in a second. All right, so that's 2 down, 1 to go. My target was a 7:28 minute per mile. I'm currently running 6:57 minute per mile. All right, think about this. I got 1 more to do. I'm gonna go that way and back this way. I got one more lap, one more 800. About a minute and change to do it until I start. Think about this. 7:30 is the pace I have to maintain for this half marathon in order to hit my 140 goal. So this shit's crazy. So this is gonna be tough. Luckily I still got 16 weeks to go. The training is officially starting now. I'll get into that in a second. Let me get ready to do this last 800. So I'm gonna pause the camera. I'll talk to you when I'm done. Alright, third one done. Let's definitely say this third one was slower than the first two. Not by much, but it was definitely slower. I'm gonna sit down right here. Alright, so let's go over what I did. Alright, so the goal was, I'm gonna go off the Nike data because with the warm-up, the Garmin data is gonna read higher. This one just took the intervals. So according to the Nike, the intervals were, first one, 5:27. Second one was 5:22. And I don't think the third one was right. The third one said 4 minutes, but the average pace was slower. I guess the average pace was overall. I felt running slow as all hell on that last one. Overall, target pace was like 7:28 per mile. Today, this was 7:09 per mile. So slightly ahead, but actually, you know, not too far ahead. It's not like I had a 7:28 pace and I ran 5s. You know, this was in the ballpark of where I should be. And this is a good indicator of how much it's gonna suck to actually run for my goal. So one of the things this is definitely doing for me. So why intervals? Well, what the intervals are doing for me is just warming me up for what's to come. In a couple weeks I get my first tempo run. And tempo runs are basically interval race pace runs for distance. So if my race pace goal is 7:28 over 13.1 miles. If I struggled during a couple sprints, you know, I did 1.5 miles and I was struggling to keep that pace. Imagine how I'm gonna struggle during 13 miles, right? Well, luckily we still have a long way to go. But the tempo runs are runs at race pace. So all this speed work that I'm doing now, we're gonna see how that pays off when I hit that first tempo. And based on looking at the schedule, I think the first tempo is in week 9. And it's 1.5 miles at 7:30 pace. So that means I have to maintain a 7:30 pace for the whole 1.5 miles. So we'll know what kind of shape we're in by the time that first tempo run gets here. Now luckily, the tempo runs don't last the whole program. I think they're from like 9 through like week 15 or something. So I only have like 5 or 6 weeks of tempo runs, with the longest one being 3.5 miles at race pace. So essentially that's gonna be a tough day. But we'll see. I mean, like I said, we still have a lot of time to get there, and this is week 6. Okay, so let me get ready for the gym. I gotta change my shoes, get my towel, wipe my face off, you know, cool down a little bit first, and then I'll get ready for the gym. And then I'll talk to you about what I mean when I say the work is officially starting this week. Alright, so we are getting ready to go to the gym. And yes, for those who watch every week, I have about 3 different hoodies that I use to work out in. The whole family. After those 3 hoodies, I don't want to ruin my other hoodies. So I have about 3 hoodies I work out in every day. My Under Armour hoodie, this one, the Miami 70.3, and then my Penn State one has been added to the mix. and I use my Ironman North Carolina jacket for my runs, just because I'll even wear that to the gym sometimes. Anyway, that's just because there are people that actually give a shit more about wearing the same thing every day than they do about the workouts and such. So if you care and you're like, oh, don't you ever wear different clothes? No, I don't, but I'm okay with that. Anyway, so what do I mean when I said the real training starts this week? Well, if you've ever done a race training, typically, and this is typically, not the gospel, not 100%, typically a race training plan will be about 16 weeks long, okay? They can go up to about 20 weeks on average. You might see a few that are 20-week long plans, but outside of that, you typically don't see longer than 16 to 20-week training plans. This is the start of week 16. Now, why did I start 5 weeks ago? Quite honestly, I was just getting bored with doing, you know, workouts that didn't really point me to a specific goal. I knew this training was coming up, and I figured, you know what, let me start training for it now. My daughter started training for the half marathon at 27 weeks, and she's already burned herself out. She hasn't trained in like 7 weeks now. So that's the main reason why you don't start training that far out. So this is the start of 16 weeks ago, as starting yesterday, right? The week 6 of 21 weeks, and this is where things are really going to start getting real. They're going to start happening a little bit more often, a little bit more frequent, you know, increases in mileage, increases in speed, and so on and so forth. That's not to say the previous 5 weeks was just playing around. The previous 5 weeks was for me building up to this. Remember, I hadn't done any endurance or any kind of cardio really since Ironman Florida over a year ago. So this 5 weeks of, you could call it, you know, race prep. Essentially for me, it was like pre-prep, you know, where I was kind of like just getting the body used to actually doing cardio again. And it's, trust me, it's paid off. I mean, I looked at a post earlier today on Facebook where 2 years ago I ran a 10K and I was averaging over 10 minutes per mile. If I ran a 10K now, I ran a 10K on what, Thanksgiving, and I was like just over 9 minutes per mile. Like I was way faster than I was 2 years ago. And 2 years ago I was actually training for cardio. So what I'm getting at is, now starts the final 16-week push into the race, and this is where things are really going to, you know, happen to the, you know, with the best increases, the best intensity happening, right? The biggest mileage jumps, the speed jumps, and so on and so forth. So the first 5 weeks was fun, and it was a great getting a baseline and getting situated where we are now. And like I said, I've made tremendous progress even over the last 5 weeks, but now we're getting serious. Now shit is really getting real as far as the cardio goes. Yeah, big turn. And we just have to keep focusing. You know, like I said, everything's gonna get faster, gonna get further, and so on. And now we're really in the heart of things. So we got a long way to go. All right, we still have 16 weeks. That means 32 more videos like this to go. Plus race day. I'm really excited. I'm really, you know, stoked about it. And I'm nervous at the same time because, like I told my wife just a minute ago, those sprints I did at a 7:08 pace. For me to hit my goal for this half marathon, I have to maintain a 7:30 or faster. And I'm like, if I was struggling doing 7:08, 7:09, how the hell am I gonna maintain a 7:30? So that's what training's for. That's what we have. So we still have a long way to go, and I'm excited to see where this journey takes us. So I am about to pull up to the gym as soon as I get. What the is this guy doing? I hate these Florida middle turn lane things. Like, yeah. What the I swear, I hate how Floridians drive sometimes. But we're here at the gym. It's back in biceps day. I'll take you inside and I'll kind of walk through everything. I'm not gonna get a lot of footage. I'll try to get some, and then because it's already 20 to 12. I haven't eaten yet. I'm starving. I just really want to fly through this workout, and just kind of get it done. You know, so if I don't get any footage, whatever. If I do, I mean, it's rows, curls, reverse lat raises, you know, reverse flies. Essentially is what it's gonna be. It's gonna be dumbbell rows, wide rows, upright, you know, upright rows of shoulders, reverse flies, probably pullovers. No, it's only gonna be 3 back exercises, 3 biceps. So it's gonna be curls, hammer curls, wide curls, just in different combinations, 3 sets of 10. Then we're gonna do some HIIT. I'll probably do the HIIT and then core because I didn't do core yesterday. So I'm just gonna end this clip here, and I'll come back in a little bit. Like I said, I wanna fly through this workout because I'm really, really, really hungry. And I got one more thing I wanna talk about before this end of this episode. I'll see you. All right, so we are back from the gym. This is gonna be the last clip of this episode. Hope you enjoyed this. Back workout was, hold on, it was, I have it written down. I forgot already. It was rows and hammer curls, supersetted with reverse flies and full curls. And then it was dumbbell pullovers and wide bicep curls, basically working on the you know, both multiple heads of the bicep. Okay. Then it was HIIT, 3 exercises of HIIT. Then it was core, 2 exercises of core, and that was that. So I'm done. If I looked at my Fitbit to see how many calories were burned, I'll be honest, I skipped the HIIT. The sprints kicked my ass cardio-wise. I did not want to do the HIIT, but I did do the core, and it was weighted dumbbell raises, right? And where basically you're in like a dead cockroach position where your arms are up, legs are up, and you're trying to lift the dumbbell over your feet. Obviously, you're not going to do it. And then it was bicycle crunches, straight leg bicycle crunches. If I look at the Fitbit today, come on, sync up. All right, so my run this morning burned 376 calories, and my weight workout burned 351 calories. So that's like 800 calories today from exercise alone. Not too shabby. Now we're fueling it up with some breakfast. But the last thing I want to talk about is the last thing that you have to do to accomplish goals, and I have often struggled to do this, okay? A lot of people don't accomplish their goals because of one thing: their mentality. They don't have the right mentality to accomplish their goals. They're not in the right mindset. They don't have the right frame of mind going in, and that screws a lot of people up. Like, how many times do you see people the first of the year, January 1st, and they go, I'm going to lose this much weight, and then a week later, they've already lost their momentum because they've had a cheat meal that turned into a cheat week, which is going to turn into a cheat month, and they give up. Okay, so in business, same thing. You always have to be learning and improving yourself in business. So one of the things I'm doing with my coach team, my business team with Beachbody, is we are starting an accountability with personal development, because personal development is where it's at, and it's the one thing that I have not consistently done, and I think it's the one thing that's really truly holding me back. So this year was a decent year. COVID kind of fucked everything up. So yes, this threw all of our goals out the window and said, you know what, F your goals, good luck trying to do it, but next year is going to be a fresh start for me, and it's all about mindset. You know, I'm not going to get fired from my job. I'm not going to get struck by lightning. We're not going to get on lockdowns. We're not going to have a hurricane season from hell. We're not going to get COVID in the house. We've already done all those things, okay? Now it's time to improve ourselves. So starting Monday, and you guys can follow along too if you really, really, really want to, my business team is going to be doing an accountability thread just for us. So I'm not going to invite anybody unless you join our coach team and want to do this, which is a completely different conversation. But I'm doing with my coaches an accountability thread with personal development. Every day, every month, we're going to pick a different book. And we're going to read the book as a group. Obviously not like in a circle where we read out loud. But every day, we're going to read another chapter. And then in the accountability thread, we're going to talk about our takeaway. Our biggest takeaway is how we can apply what we've learned to our business. So the first book we're starting with, and we're starting on Monday, the 11th of January, or 11th of December, is Grant Cardone's The 10X Rule. Okay? Basically, the premise behind the book, and I started reading it once a couple years ago, and I kind of stopped because life and Ironman training and all this other stuff. The premise of the book is you have to think of your goals, and your goals that you're probably setting are okay. Think 10 times bigger. Okay, so if you made $10,000 on a side hustle this year, next year set a goal for make 100,000. If you made 20, set a goal for 200,000. If you lost 5 pounds, set a goal to lose 50 pounds. Of course, if you don't have 50 pounds to lose, it's not gonna work. You know, just think bigger and how to execute with those bigger thoughts. So we're gonna start tackling the 10X rule on Monday, the 11th of December. Obviously, I'm not gonna talk about it unless you guys have questions about it. You know, like I said, if you guys wanna join us in the thing, feel free. You can message me on my personal Facebook group page, my like page, which is obviously linked below. Definitely don't, you know, if you have questions or wanna just, you know, talk about things, let me know. But yeah, so we're gonna start doing that on Monday and hopefully give us the momentum going into January. Because while this year was a decent year for me, personally, as far as business goes, on the side hustle, not really promoting a whole lot of it, next year I want better. I want bigger, I want better, I want more freedoms for myself and my family, and that is what I need to do. So, on that, I'm gonna eat my breakfast because it's 12:42 as of right now. The rest of the day is pretty much just gonna be me finishing up things at work, getting ready to tackle the evening and spend time with my family, my wife, my kids, and so on and so forth. And I think we have some more Christmas decorations we might try to put up tonight. Obviously, it's Christmas movies, so we watch one a day to get through the whole season. And it's just it's time of year for family. And you know, obviously, this is our favorite time of year because everything kind of gets light with work schedule and work. Not really results, but like goals, but like, you know, like your tasking isn't as tremendous during the between Thanksgiving and Christmas, so you can kind of have that little leeway of, you know, yeah, I'm here, but I'm not really here, and you know, at the same time, like I don't have a whole ton to work on, like maybe a task here or there, and you know, I mean, I'm still working, I'm still doing what I have to do, but it's not like you have 1,000 tasks coming down the pipeline all at the same time, like you would probably like mid-year. So it's a time we get to spend time with family, you know, kids' schoolwork is light, you know, especially this year. So it's what we like to do. So if you enjoyed this episode, like, subscribe, share this series out with people, and I will see you in the next episode.